Hey, you may notice I have a bit of a different background than I normally have, and that is because I am TDY in Texas, and if you don't know what TDY means, well then stick around, because in this video I'm going to teach you what TDY stands for, as well as several other Army acronyms in this video. What's up friends, I'm US Army veteran ThatChrisChaos, and in this video I'm teaching you Army acronyms. You may hear several acronyms that you have no idea what they mean, things like TDY, AIT, MOS, ETS, all those kind of things, and that's what I'm going to teach you about here in this video. I'm going to tell you the acronym, I'm going to give you an example of how it's used, and then I'll explain to you what the acronym stands for and what it is. So let's start off with that first one I mentioned at the very beginning of this video. I'm currently TDY in Texas. The acronym TDY, that stands for temporary duty. Now it is kind of weird because it's T for temporary, DY is the duty part. It's not really like the D stands for one word and the Y stands for another word. So it's a little confusing on that end. But essentially what it means is just a temporary duty location. I'm here in Texas doing some work on Fort Hood in the Army base. So I am temporarily here for duty. Soldiers will often do this if they have to go for a school or just to support something. And they will temporarily be assigned to a location and be on TDY. The next acronym is AIT. After basic training, I will be going to AIT at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. AIT stands for Advanced Individual Training, and it is just an advanced training, usually something that is related to that individual's job that they will go to do, and they will kind of continue doing training in that environment to learn about their job. The next acronym you may hear is PX. Later I want to stop by the PX and get a new pair of shorts. PX stands for Post Exchange, and it is kind of like a shopping place that soldiers go to on an Army installation. On an Air Force installation, it's called a BX, which is a base exchange, but they're essentially the same thing. They're run by the same company. Soldiers can go here to go shopping to get, clothing. They can get electronics. It's kind of like a Walmart, just without the grocery section. The next acronym is ETS. I've got a couple more months until my ETS date, and I'm pretty excited. ETS stands for Expiration of Term of Service. When a soldier enlists in the Army, they have an ETS date, which is their date they are done with that particular contract and they are out of the Army. Now if they re-enlist, then it goes past that and will go to however many more years they add on to it, but they always have some kind of ETS date until they get to a certain point where they become indefinite, and then they're just kind of waiting for a retirement packet to be put in. So like when I got out of the Army, my ETS date when I actually got out of the Army was, I believe, March 9th of 2010. And that was the official day that I was out of the Army. The next acronym is EOD. All right, we're gonna have to hang out here until EOD shows up to take care of this suspicious object here in the road. EOD stands for Explosive Ordnance Disposal. These are the soldiers that actually deal with the explosive ordnance like IEDs and other things that are maybe suspicious on the side of the road or wherever it might be. They're kind of like the bomb squad of the Army. The next acronym is PCS. I just came up on orders for Fort Bliss, so I'm gonna PCS in March. So PCS stands for Permanent Change of Station. A lot of times a soldier may be at one particular duty station for maybe like 2 years, and then they'll come up on orders, and then they have to go somewhere else. It could be somewhere else in the United States, or it could be somewhere overseas. And they're gonna go from one duty station, their permanent duty station, to a new permanent duty station. So this is called PCSing. This isn't the same as like deploying or being deployed to like another country for like a war or a campaign or some sort. This is simply you're moving from your one permanent duty station to a new permanent duty station. And often this can happen about every 2 years, but there are a lot of cases where some people are at one duty station for several years. This next acronym is MOS. My MOS in the United States Army was an 88 Mike. MOS stands for Military Occupational Specialty. Really, to sum it up, an MOS is a job in the Army. Whether you're a truck driver, you're an infantryman, you're a tanker, the MOS designator is what your job kind of designation is, whether that is 88 Mike, 11 Bravo, 11 Charlie, 18 Mike, whatever the case might be. The next acronym is POV. Make sure everybody has their insurance and registration up to date, because at 1600 we're doing a POV inspection. POV stands for Privately Owned Vehicle. So a POV is your personally owned vehicle. Sometimes that's also how it's kind of worded, is personal or private, but it is your own vehicle, the vehicle you drive around from day to day. And by the way, with that example, yes, they do have inspections a lot of times before like a big weekend or something like that, where they make sure soldiers are up to date on their insurance and registration before they're out driving around for, the 40 weekend, 3D weekend, or just even sometimes just for safety purposes to make sure soldiers are keeping up to date with their insurance and registration on their privately owned car. And this last acronym is DFAC. Hey, we gotta make sure to cut the soldiers loose by about 12:30 so they can hit the DFAC before they close. And DFAC stands for Dining Facility Administration Center. Now, I don't really know why they have the administration center part in there, but really dining facility is the best example of what a DFAC really is. That's where soldiers can go on base to go get some food, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Some people still may refer to it as a chow hall, that's kind of a common one. But DFAC is also another name that you may hear thrown around when people are referring to the dining facility, the place to go eat on post for soldiers. All right, so there you go. That is just kind of breakdown of the very many acronyms they have in the Army. There are a crap ton of these things, but that's just a good handful of them. There are also some cases where other acronyms will have multiple meanings. You may hear, the term for one acronym called one thing, and then other people reuse it as another meaning, and even though it has the same letters and it's said the same way, it's confusing sometimes. But those examples are the common ones for those particular acronyms anyways. Just as an example, some of you may have been thinking when I said POV, point of view, because that's kind of what that's referred to a lot of times with like video games and other references. But in the Army, when someone usually says POV, they're talking about your privately owned vehicle. So hopefully that's helpful and you learned a few things about acronyms. You can easily search a lot of them on Google by simply typing in just a search for Army acronyms and try to find out more if you would like to know about other acronyms that you're curious about. But if this video helped you out and maybe filled a little bit of curiosity, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you want to check out some of my other videos, go ahead and check out these guys right over there. If you're not yet subscribed to my video and you want to see more Army content and other fun stuff that I do here on this channel, hit that subscribe button. I'm ChristopherChaos. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time. See ya.